Yeah. Thanks, Caroline, and nice to meet you all. So I'll be the one who will be demonstrating the tool. While going through the tool, if at any point in time, if you guys feel that I'm going a bit faster, want to slow down or something, or maybe you have any questions or something, just raise your hands and I'll just try to answer them, or maybe Vikram can help me with pausing and pointing out. So yeah, I'll just start sharing my screen here. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, as a tool, this is what the whole process that the tool can kind of help you out with or support at every stage. So from 1 to 10, so 1 would be the preparation of methodology. So except that one step, rest of the things can be done through the tool. So I'll quickly take you through each of the steps so that everyone kind of anyways, you guys are experienced, so you know what the whole process of benchmarking is. But what all tool can help you with is what something I'll take you through. So creating the survey questionnaire. So whatever methodology that you have can be incorporated into the tool, and it's completely kind of a customizable, and all the administrators of the tool can create the questionnaire themselves. So it's that is the second step. The third step is within the public assessment. As we all know, the assessors or the analysts normally go through the publicly available information. They assess the companies that are going to be part of the benchmark. They either assign them scores, or they kind of collect all the public available evidence to uh, understand whether they follow a particular policy or not follow, or they want to give any scores, they give it accordingly. So that's the assessors or analysts who do it. So after that part is done, normally what happens is the invitation to the companies are sent that this is how we have evaluated you, this is our assessment. If you have any updates for us, you have any evidence based on which you want us to modify any scores or anything, you think there should be a different score, please let us know. So that's the invitation part. Well, we'll send the invitation, and this invitation can be kind of shared through the system or out of the system, depends on how you want the process to be. And the invitations can also uh, uh, in some of the situations, you can send a scorecard, the preliminary scorecard, that these are your scores and this is what we have evaluated. So you go through them. If you are unsatisfied with anything, come and talk to us, something like that. The next process would be like, as you have given the invitation, the companies would register into the system. If they want to kind of respond or do anything or having a conversation, they can register into the system as a user. They see their assessment and then start the conversation with the analyst or assessors. Then assessors can also have a conversation with analyst. If there is no conversation needed, then it can, like, they can just go through the company comments and make the necessary modifications, or maybe reallocate the scores. That is step number 7. So based on whatever the process is. And the eighth step is the analysis. So whatever data that we have collected, based on that, if you want to do any statistical analysis, averaging, quartile, quintile, ranking the companies uh, based on whatever scores that are calculated. Even a custom scoring methodology can be implemented. So all those can be done directly from within the system. There is a functionality called as data sets. Then at the very end, there's the last two steps, where is like once the scoring is done, all the data is collected, you create a feedback report for individual companies, and then send those feedback reports to the companies, that this is the final benchmark report. This is the average of the whole benchmark. This is where you stand. These are the good things that you have done. These are the improvements that you need to take to reach to the next step, or whatever information that you want to give to the company to reach to the next level. So that is where this prepare and feedback report would come. And lastly, you send this feedback report. so to the companies through the system or out of the system, you can download and send it across. So all these steps are uh, like the tool facilitates you to go through all these steps from within the system at one place. So there is no need for any external multiple tools if you want to follow this benchmark process. Yeah. So this is was what about the whole system here. So I'll take you through the tool now. Before that, do you want do you have any questions for me regarding the process or anything, or should I just start with the tool and then maybe you have a question? Okay, sure. So you have this company's yeah. So once you log into the system, this is the first screen that you normally see. So I have just filtered it, but you basically see the list of all the companies that are part of the benchmark. Okay, and once you have this list, let me, sorry, the toolbar is kind of struggling. Yeah. So once you have this list of companies, say suppose as an analyst you want to go and respond to one of the companies or as one of the companies, then what you do is you search for that company and click on this. So this is like login as, or you basically impersonate as that particular company. So once you impersonate, it would take you to a page something like this. This is a portal page, and the whole page is customizable. When I say customizable, the section in the middle, you can have the information about the benchmark and a start date of the benchmark and any additional information that you want to give about the benchmark. And then there is a list of all the assessments that you do as part of the benchmark. So currently, because I'm just for the demonstration purpose, I have created a customized assessment. So here, like we have NA benchmark 2024. So when I click on this list of survey, it will take me to an overview page where you will see all the indicators that you have and based on like what indicator. So this particular page is basically an, as the name suggests, it's an overview. So it would give you like if there are any scores, but if there are no scores, it's okay. uh, if you can, we can completely hide this particular area, but it would give you status whether indicator one is in progress, how much is completed. So you can also have like completed status, not started status, in progress. You can also have a flagged status. So all those things are possible. So it would give you an overview here. So once I click on one of the indicators, it would take me to a page like this where you will have all the indicator and metrics. So we have this one indicator one assessment, then 1.1, then 1.1a, and within that metric you have this yes, no, not applicable. Uh, then there is a source like based on what you are assessing the company. Uh, the explanation, analyst comments, then the company comments come up, the reviewer comments come up. So this whole structure is basically customizable. So I have created it based on what Graham provided me, how you want that structure to be. So I've just tried to replicate that so that you have a better understanding of how the things would look. Uh, uh, so every metric can have this questions uh, in the tool, and you can collect whatever information that you want from this. Now I'll go deep into each one of them, like what are the features around one particular metric. So one feature that we have is like the guidance at the top can be provided at an indicator level, whatever additional information or guidance that you want, so that can be done. You can also have a metric level guidance. So the one this is one way, a pop-up way of getting the guidance. The another way that we have in place is like this we created for another uh, client, but this is also how we can have the assessment criteria, that kind of an information. So we can do this type of things as well for each of the metrics. So just from a demonstration standpoint, so there are multiple ways you can show those guidance. You can also have like multiple pop-ups like this, like one shows the guidance, another shows assessment criteria, there is one more pop-up is available where you can show all those information that is necessary for the analyst to understand before they assess the company, or maybe when companies get into the system, even for them it is important, like what is the actual requirement here. So that is those things. uh, Now, another thing that we have is the source. Now, source is when we click on this button, it's an basically, as the name suggests, the file attachment library. So basically, you can attach a URL or you can attach a file. You can give file name and page number. So whenever you attach a URL, okay, what the system does is like it automatically takes the snapshot of that URL and converts it into PDF, so that even while the benchmark is going on and if someone changes their website or the content of the website, you still have the evidence based on which you have kind of done the assessment. Okay, so here just for an example standpoint, I use this roadmap 2030 glance roadmap glance, and I just added it here, and the screenshot or PDF that it created was something like this. So you have the screenshot or of the whole information that was there on that particular website, so that you can use it in future whenever you want to. So that is for all the URLs that are basically not under any security or anything like that. So if a URL uh, has a security constraint, like the web crawlers are not allowed, then those URLs might not be kind of converted. But still, in those cases, you will have the URLs kind of uh, captured. So that is what is the thing. And then you can give file name, page number. If you want to have any additional information, this is like a customizable area. So based on NA hundreds requirement, we can have additional information fields that can be added for each of the file, and those information can be kind of displayed here under this particular area. So this is what is the file attachment library. Uh, and another advantage of the file attachment library is that if I'm there on, say, on metrics 1.1b, I want to use the same evidence that I have used or the same file that I have uploaded previously. So I would go to this attachment, and the same file that I attached for metric 1 or metric 1.1a would be available here, and I can add to the question. So same file would be added to the metric 2, okay, along with the PDF and everything. And then maybe I can go edit and change the maybe page number or any description I want to change or any other information I want to change, and click on save. So that would then be custom, like in a way we captured for the metric 2 as well. So you don't have to upload the same file again and again, because most of the times we kind of drill down through a sustainability report or some kind of a report which has multiple pages. So you don't have to upload it again and again. So
Gautam,
yeah, sorry.
there is a question in the chat.
Sure. How do you see whether a website is secured? Is it with HTTPS? Yeah. So website is already secured. So it's an
No,
HTTP. Sorry.
I think let me take. So basically, I think the question is regarding when we capture how we
Okay.
the security from that point of view. So it depends upon how they have set it up. The security is not, if it is HTTP HRS, it captures both of the information, but sometimes some website restrict it from public leak crawl from softwares. So if that is the case, it might not. So normally only 5% of case we have with our a decade of experience, we have found roughly those very few examples are there, especially the kind of work we are doing is normally not under secure. Okay, thank you. Yeah, Gautam, go ahead.
So sorry, just one more quick
Sure.
clarification there. So what, you wouldn't get a PDF and then you would have to say take a screenshot yourself in
Yeah.
order to upload.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So whenever a PDF like system is not able to generate the PDF or not able to capture, there is an error message shown at the top that we were not able to capture the PDF and only URL is captured. So at that point in time, maybe the analyst can decide how they want to, either they want to copy paste, or however they want to capture the information, they can capture in another way. Okay. Uh, okay, I'll move on if there are no further questions. Yeah. Okay, so now another thing that you see on the screen is like there is a gray background for this upper part of it, and there is no gray background at the lower part of it. So that gray background is basically a kind of read-only area. Okay, so read-only area means only the analyst would be able to change anything within that particular area. Okay, the companies, when they get into the system, or when you invite the companies for their comments, okay, they would see everything in this particular area, but they would not be able to change anything. Okay, so if you have selected yes or no, whatever the analysts have selected, the companies can see that the analysts have selected yes. The companies can see the source that analysts have added. The company can see the explanation and the comments and the explanation, but they won't be able to kind of make any changes. They can only would go and add their comments and the supporting evidence that they want to kind of add. Okay, so that's the read only functionality. So this helps when it comes to this kind of a conversation, so that we do not have to worry about any like companies going and changing the information themselves. uh, so for the public assessment, that is very important. Another thing is this particular area is being shown red in the background. So that is an admin only question. So this question, as I think, as Graham mentioned in his PPT, that only that's for internal conversation, where the analyst would only have for that internal comments. So that's an admin only. So the companies would not even see that particular comment. Okay, so only the analysts or the administrators or the few people from SERES who have the administrator rights would be able to see those particular comments. Okay, so that solves that particular problem as well. So that is about those areas. The red border on the left hand side is for the mandatory questions. So it's completely up to us whether we want a certain area or certain question to be mandatory or voluntary. So if it's voluntary, the system can kind of would not prompt you for that. And if it is mandatory, you will have to, before submission, it would not allow you to submit the whole survey for that particular company unless you complete all the mandatory questions. Okay, any questions, anyone?
One question for me.
Sure.
So as you work through, does it, I guess it has, but just to be sure, it has an autosave system that,
No,
it saves things as you go on, or do you need to have it fully
no.
completed and then click on submit, or how
Yeah,
does it work?
it is not an auto save. So you will have to like click on, so there are two buttons here. Okay, save and continue. Okay, so whenever you want to save, or you have to click on save and continue. So difference between these two buttons are: save normally just saves and stays on that same page, and save and continue is like save and go to the next page. Okay, so it goes to the next page only if you have completed everything on this particular page, and it automatically goes to the next page. But there is no like auto save or anything like that, because like we normally do not when there is an assessment going on, people might like accidentally also click something, and that would then be saved. So it's like better to have a proper manual intervention. Whenever they want to save, they would be able to save it. But
And
saying that, if I change something and say I go to like directly on the next without saving, or maybe I close the window or something, then it prompts me like you see here, that you have not
Yeah.
saved, and please save it. So that check
Okay.
is there. So it would not uh, like
Yeah.
directly
You've
leave
got
the
a
page.
prompt.
And
Yeah.
yeah, there is a prompt there already. Yeah,
and
Vikram,
when
you're saying something?
yeah, when we say manually save, it's saving on the same page. So if the assessment is split on multiple pillars will be there. So each pillar you have to save separately. So you don't have to complete the entire, like for example, here we have shown 3, but normally I think in production it will be more. There's one question in the chat, Gautam.
Yeah, sure. Clarification question for assessment section. This is customizable based on scoring system, correct? So instead of yes, no, not completed, one can input indicators like
So this is my
okay.
question. Just
Yeah, if you can
curious.
clarify. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, just curious. So the water team has a benchmark as well, which is why I've joined this call, because we're
Yeah,
also
yeah.
trying to improve our efficiencies. But when we assess a company, we don't use a scoring system of yes, no, and not applicable. We use a scoring system of different, what we call sub-indicators that have different criteria. So just curious if this
Yes.
box is customizable
Yes,
in that.
absolutely. It's customizable. So there's no restriction to what options that you need to use here. So it's completely customizable here.
A simpler example would be like a Google form, right? Any survey tool that you have. So you can, there is a template behind it. You decide which question, what text to be displayed and the question type, and then you can display it.
So if you see
Thanks
this
for
particular assessment, you have this different options. Okay, so there are completely different options for, so even for different metric, you want different options for each of the metrics, even that is possible. So it's completely how you want that assessment to be.
Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, and just to answer Jerome, like whenever you kind of save here, okay, you see this status is right. So you will be able to see. So there is no the system does not want you to follow any sequence or anything. Okay, you can directly start with indicator 2 first, and
Yeah.
then move to indicator 1, etc. So it's completely up to you how you want to do it, but system would tell you like which are the ones in progress and not completed fully, and the which are the ones which are completed and not started, or all those statuses would be available here. So that it's always available for the information. Okay. And there is also one more thing is flagged. So this flagging is like at an indicator level, at sub indicator level, metric level, whatever you want to flag, you will be able to flag, and then at the top you will be also be able to see like it would directly take you to that particular flagging page. And this flag is mainly used when you have this internal communication that you want to do, like if the reviewer has any review like some comments left for the analyst, then maybe like they can just flag it, and the analyst would go to that company and directly go to that flagged indicator instead of going through all the questions searching for the comments from the reviewers, right? So all those things like the flagging and bookmarking can be used for those purposes if the cycle requires that kind of a communication. Okay. Now, yeah, sure.
Sorry, I've got one more question just on the way this is structured. So what we had envisaged for this, because the topic we want to address is quite new and with, let's say, room for interpretation and interpretation. What we had in mind was to be able to link at the metric level, when we do the assessments, yes, no, or not applicable, to also link to that an assessment of how robust each of these particular assessment is. So for example, here, you would say on that one, for that company, I think the answer is no, but actually, and I'm either fully confident because I've seen the evidence, or I don't know because there is room for interpretation, or I really don't know and I flag it as red in terms of level of confidence. Is that something we could add in the tool?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so we can add something on the admin level under analyst comment with those options as a drop down, which could be admin only, and you can pick if there is something, and if you are 100% confident, you can put. We can also have something like not applicable or no comments or anything of that sorts, and then you can, anyway you want to use. Some of our clients use a technique called as, they have a checkbox, and then they kind of have this uh, what you say, a gray area kind of a thing. They are not sure kind of a thing. So they have checkbox on each assessment, which is admin only. They tick those, and then maybe they go on next level or deeper level of assessment. So you
Yeah.
can pick and choose how you want to choose. And let's say you started the tool, okay, and we are on week 2, and you decide there is something missing, and we have missed this piece of information. We need something of a checkbox or a drop down here. So when the assessment is going on, we can add those afterwards. Every question will automatically get, definitely we have to add it manually in the template. But what it means is that your existing data and existing structure is not impacted. We will have
Yeah.
an additional indicators or additional question that you can. We don't recommend it, but we can understand for the first cycle, it is always a possibility. But the tool is flexible. It's not like a hard finish, like it
Yeah.
will not change or anything like that. It kind of change automatically.
And could you just, sorry, one more question.
Sure.
So if you add this drop down in terms of level of robustness, can you then make an assessment for each company of how like the average level of robustness across all the metrics?
Yeah, so we might have to use data set for that. So on the back end, you can get a report, a configured report where we can do a count of all the not confident number of answers for across indicator, and then maybe we can do a count or something, and then we can do an average on that count. Then Excel, it's exported in Excel. You can do whatever backend assessment. Whatever you put into the system, you can extract out as an export Excel directly, or there is something
Okay.
on this data set where you don't want to export everything, but you want to only pick and choose, and you can export that, whatever we call this at sometime progress sheet or something like that. We want to check the pulse of the survey.
Makes sense. Okay, thanks.
Cool. And there is
I
like
also have a
yeah,
question
sure.
before we proceed. Yeah, just to get a sense of how much of this we can edit ourselves. So I think if we have indicators and sub-indicators, metrics, we can probably add. But say for this robustness example, you said it's something that we can add to like the analyst section, something that's admin related internal to us. Is that also something we can add and modify
Yes,
this, or is that
absolutely.
something you will have to do on the
Uh,
back end?
the whole survey that I'm showing you right now, you can manage and edit, add questions, whatever you want to do, you can do it from yourselves. It's just a bit of training that will need to be given to you, and you can do all the necessary modifications, add, remove questions, all those things is possible. Okay, so we have a template. So I'll at the end, if time permits, I'll take you through. Like I'll just show a brief about that, how you can add, edit, etc.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Just while we are on that topic, I just want to highlight one point. Sometimes what happens is, because let's say we have 50 indicators, just for an example, to add a drop down on each is a manual task. You go there, add, and you have to, because that's the only way, because you need unique. So what we have developed over the years, we have some bots that we have prepared. So sometimes what we have, if there is some standardized way to add something, we use that tool. Definitely we charge for it, and whatever we price it, and then if you agree, we can go it, just to increase the speed of it. Just from a capability point of view, I just want to highlight while we are there. So there is that option also available if you wish to, but then nothing is stopping you from doing that on your own.
Okay.
And also, while we are there, whenever you make any change, we have a history also on that template wherever you change. So you have an history, and you can always go back and check what happened, what changed, if accidentally something got added or not. So all those functionalities also there on the back end.
Right. Okay. So moving to the next area is the history side of it. So you have the complete, like when you kind of respond to the survey, uh, there will be a complete history of what was responded to. So like currently, like you'll see that this user has added this response. Okay, so if there are multiple response changes are being done, you will be seeing all the people or all the users who have made changes to, so it's kind of a log. Okay, so you can see log for each of the questions. Okay, and then maybe decide whether you want to. So there is an apply response. So if you think that this was the correct one and someone has changed something, so you can just directly apply response, and that response would be applied to that particular metric. Okay, so that's one. So this is the direct log of that particular response or that particular metric. The next is for all the companies. So I had, just for the demonstration purpose, I had created two companies, like company one, company two. So here you will see that for this same metric, what is the response that the company two has selected and what is the response that was given for company one. Okay, so just in case you want to have a comparison between, like while analyzing, you know that Adidas and Nike has most of the metrics same. Okay, because they are in the same sector. Okay, so that way, like while analyzing, you can compare and kind of decide what answers, or maybe that can raise a red flag, like Adidas is having a yes, then why Nike is having a no. So that kind of a comparison can be made. So how many ever companies are assessed for that particular metric, you will see all the responses here for the company. And this is not visible to the companies themselves. Okay, this is only as an administrator or an analyst view kind of a thing, where because like obviously for confidential reasons, other companies should not know what other companies have answered, right? So that is what it is. And this last year's response. So here you, like currently I'm on 2024, so I'm not able to see the previous year because there is no previous year, but you'll be able to see the previous year response for the same metric as well in the for that uh, uh, previous years, all the years. Okay, so this is what is, so response and the last company response is visible to everyone, analyst as well as companies, but all company response is only visible to the administrators, okay, or the analysts who get into the system. So yeah, this is the history. So all the questions have it. So if you see explanation, analyst comments, all the questions have the history side of it. Okay. Uh, the next would be the commenting side of it. So there was from an explanation standpoint. So if suppose there is a common explanation that you want based on for a particular question, if you select yes, there should be a default explanation that should be coming, like this company is doing this policy just for what is a consistency standpoint, so that all the companies have the same kind of an explanation if a certain metric is selected. So what we can do is, when I click on yes, okay, it tells me the list of like predefined comments that we might be putting in. So this is just the test comments that I have added, but you can have a set of predefined comments or predefined explanations. If yes is selected, this is the predefined explanation that should come up, and then you can add on the explanation. So I can just select it and add comment. So it would automatically come in the explanation box here. Okay, and if I like also want to add the second comment and add comment, it would add the second comment under it as well. Okay, so this is a predefined comments that you might want to add to the system uh, based on if you want to have a consistency when it comes to explanation, and because each analyst have their own way of writing explanation. So if you want to have a consistency, this is what you can use. uh, so this has to be added while we are setting up the assessment. Okay, so that is one thing. So now if I change it to no, then it would ask me whether I want to kind of append the comment, or I want to replace the comment. So if I click on OK, it would replace the it would add append the comment, or if I click on cancel, it would like replace the whole comment. So I'm just changing here. So based on that, the whole thing would work. Okay, so that was about the comment side of it.
This is not a mandatory feature, just
Yeah,
showing the.
it's just like I think Graham mentioned that in one of the requirements. I just was demonstrating that here. Okay. Another thing is like the choose. So there is like, based on what I understood out of the whole thing, is like whether, like if all there is an assessment done at an indicator level as well as at the sub indicator level, right? So if I say yes for all the questions, okay, and if I click on save, at an indicator or sub indicator level, it means that it's a yes. And if I say, suppose, say no for one of the indicators, and no for one of the indicators and yes for the one, then there should be a no for selected for this particular at a sub indicator level, right? So I have selected no and a yes. So it is basically a partial one, right? So for partial, like if the condition is there, it would kind of show you that a partial is already selected. But if I say a no for both of them, okay, I'll just click on no. Okay, save. So no would be automatically selected here at the sub indicator level. And same can be set for the indicator level as well, based on how many criterias are met. So that kind of a setting or conditioning can be done. So it's already chosen here. So this is like I'm not able to modify. So this would only be selected based on what metric at metric level what I have selected as an options. Okay, so this kind of setting can also be done. And there can also be branching logic, etc., where uh, if say suppose for a set of companies you don't want to show a particular metric, or you don't want to show a particular indicator because that is not applicable to them, even those kind of conditioning can be added to the system, so that analysts do not have to worry whether that's applicable or not applicable, etc. So all those things is possible there. Uh, any questions here? Okay, so I'll move on. One more feature, I don't think I kind of demonstrated that last time, but when on overview page, if we click on the document download, okay, so it would download the whole document, okay, as a report or whatever, and all the indicators, sub indicators that are being displayed along with the responses that are being selected would be kind of displayed or downloaded as a PDF document. Okay, so in case you want to share offline version of the whole assessment, it is automatically generated and you do not have to kind of create it based on the responses that are being provided. So this can be done for individual indicators as well, and this can be done at an assessment level as well. So both of them is possible here. Okay.
Gautam, I think
Yeah,
this is a good time to. There is a question on permission and levels. So I think this is a good time to
sure.
ask that.
Can you walk us through different levels of permission built in the tool, the customizer? Okay. So when it comes to permissions, I think uh, from an administrator standpoint, there is a full level administrator, okay, who has access to everything. Okay. There is a response administrator, which the analysts can have, wherein you can just go and respond to the survey, but won't be able to see any reports or get like export any data out of the system if needed. And there is
Also
yeah,
cannot modify the template,
yeah,
which is kind of
also cannot.
critical.
Yes. So also cannot modify the template. So that is the response administrator or response manager, we call them, and one is that administrator. And there are also survey administrators who can only kind of work on the template, make changes to the surveys, all those things, but they won't be able to go and respond to the survey. And then there is a company user, wherein like they register into the system, and they would only be able to see the companies for which they have registered, or the data for the company for which they have been registered. Okay, so they won't be able to see this screen here that I'm showing you, the manage participant. This is an administrator side of it. So when company users get into the system, as soon as they log in, they are directly taken to this particular portal page. Okay, and then they can select which uh, survey they want to respond to, and then they are taken to the normal other pages that I've already displayed. So when it comes to from portal page, everything is same for administrators and the companies, except for those admin only questions and all those that are set up. But rest of the things, everything from a tool standpoint or an assessment standpoint, everything is same. So these are like 3 or 4 different types of users that we have. And also, like, if I don't know if this is helpful here, but there is a user management for the companies as well. So if the one of the users from the company has registered and they want other users to be added to the system, okay, like they will be added as a company user only. They won't be able to add administrators, but they can have this user management, and uh, they will have the all the users listed down here. They can add, remove whatever users they want from a company level standpoint. Karen, does that answer your question?
Maybe just one quick follow-up. Yes, mostly it clarifies. Thank you. One quick follow-up question. When there are just going back to the point that Jerome made earlier, that an analyst might flag something that over like a lower confidence that need to go back and forth. I want to understand that kind of communication flow through the two. Would you mind kind of walk us through how that might look like?
Right. So, okay. So there is no direct emailing side of it. So you cannot like email through the system that we have flagged XYZ question. Uh, but what we can do is like we can have a conversation question type. Okay. So let me see if I have configured that.
No, Gautam, what she's asking is about that special indicator if we add on all the question where they are not confident and all, how internally between the analyst, how they will know which are flagged as not confident questions, and is there any
Yeah. So
standard way?
the there is no direct way I would say, but if there are no confident questions, this flagging functionality can be used, or other functionalities like we can create data sets. Okay, and those data sets can only be like there can be a specific data set created, okay, which only gets that information. Okay, for each indicator, or sorry, for each metric, that particular drop down that we have, we can get the output of that drop down for each metric, and for all the companies you will get that particular data. Okay, so it would be a tabular format in an Excel file, and then you can maybe decide like you want to address a particular thing, so that report can be created maybe daily. You can also schedule that report, and someone has to go and download that report to know like which are the underconfident indicators. But that communication will have to be done out of the system, so that communication cannot be done from within the system, is what I would suggest here.
But
So
Gautam, there is
yeah,
some communication possible, right,
yeah,
between
yeah, absolutely. So you
servers
can
in the
like,
system.
yeah, absolutely, you can like use these flagged indicators, or maybe you can somehow like create this conversation kind of a thing where you can have a conversation. So that kind of a thing is possible. So I've not set it up,
Mhm.
sorry, because it was not needed. But yeah, we can have a chat box kind of a thing for each of the comments, and then uh, all the conversation is noted for the analyst comments, and then a decision can be made. Uh, so yeah, but there can be conversation between company and the analyst, that, or maybe company and the users from Ceres. There can be a conversation, and that can be notified every day to the Ceres. But between analyst and the reviewers, or maybe the administrators from Ceres, that would have to be kind of either handled through flags, or maybe
The
handled
conversation.
through conversation, or maybe through email, where you point out like this particular indicator I'm not 100%, or maybe you create a data set where every day you run a data set automatically, and at whatever fixed time you download that Excel sheet, and you get like these are the indicators which are still unresolved for XYZ company, and you can go and do the necessary conversation there.
Okay. And then
Okay.
can you talk through we're curious if all companies are able to log in. Have you ever had an experience where companies have firewalls of some kind and they're not able to use the system?
We haven't found any such instances so far. Definitely not because of a firewall or anything like that, unless they have specifically blocked the sites. Okay. We had experienced this once from a user from China, but then we did not like frankly those firewalls have to be set up accordingly. But then after that, like PRI has been using our system since a long time, and there are about like 5,000 signatories and about 10,000 users using the system. So we haven't faced any such firewall issue for them. So the whole
And
reporting of UNPRI goes through the system.
and I think almost, I think 140 plus country across
Yeah.
the world have accessed the system for last almost a decade now. So we haven't got any showstopper as such.
Okay.
A question from my end as well. I'm not sure if I missed it, it was already answered, but I was wondering about the exporting the data. So let's assume you go with that software, and then after tomorrow you decide you would want to go with another software, or let's say Excel. How easy is it to move? Yeah, great. To move from this to Excel and then back, and who knows, but just in terms of flexibility.
Right. So there are two ways you can get the data out of the system. Okay. One is like the data sets that we create. Okay. So these data sets are kind of in a very flexible way. Whatever fields that you want out of the system, you can get the fields out of the system in a particular, like each column here, like each field here is a column. Okay. And each row would be let me see if I can download this. uh, yeah, so it would be like this one company. Okay, and then there would be response, and then whatever additional calculations and everything that does. And then similarly another company would be another row, and like all the companies would be each row one at a time. So this is one way you can get the data out of the system when it comes to whatever was selected. Second way is like export responses functionality, where you have like you will get a raw data out of it. Okay, so even that is like each row, like one row per company, and each column is one indicator or one metric. Okay, so even that you can get, but it is very raw, so it would get all the uh, assessment fields that you have added to the system, and you'll get it in a CSV or an XLS format. So that is what, yeah. So these are the couple of ways you can get the data out of the system. And lastly, if there is anything like uh, uh, additional way you want the data out of the system, then maybe we can talk through it, and we can like access the database from the backend and create some queries for you, and get you whatever data you want out of the system. But one
Yeah,
thing
well,
is, yeah, sure.
One more related question. There's
Sure.
also PDFs and attachments and so on, but you
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to export them, right?
No, if you want, we can export it separately. We can kind of have a bulk download and send it across to you. If there are any reports or feedback reports that are there, even those can be zipped and provided to you. So all those things we can also like zip all the evidences in one part for one company, all the evidences in one zip, and can be exported to you or send it across to you. Even you can download all
Okay,
the evidence
thanks.
is in a zip file. So all that is possible, so you'll not need our help at all. And there is like multiple things available here, in the sense like uh, uh, the from what we kind of offer you is like the database that we create for you is like specifically for you. So it's not like based on a cloud or anything where we share the database and all the like all our clients are on the same database. That's not like that. It's a separate database that we kind of create for you, and all your data is yours. So in whatever way we can offer you the data, we will provide you the data.
Just another follow up on that. You said attachments can be sent across, but for indicators and metrics, there are also categories where there are comments and then analyst comments, things like that. So when we export, say, a company file, do we also get those comments in
Yes.
near those indicators or?
Yeah, so this is what I just
Okay.
showed you, right? So when you go to the overview page, okay, there is
In an
on the
Excel though?
in an Excel, yes, absolutely. So
Yeah.
export
Okay.
all responses would have everything that you see on an Excel sheet. So not an
Okay.
Excel, but whatever you see on this particular
Mm.
page, everything is exportable. Okay, and you'll
Okay,
get it
got
in
you.
an Excel file. So no problems with that.
And just to mention that, Gautam, can you just go to that PDF where you just downloaded? Yeah, can you click on that link?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you see, the path and everything is also mapped in a such a way. So the root path, even if you change, and the rest of the path is still same. So when we export it also, the internal path and everything will be also given to you. So you don't have to worry. It's completely so. The system is ours, the data is yours, and the mapping and everything is also given to you. Does this make sense?
Gautam, since we only have a few minutes
Sure,
left, can you go to the data visualization side of
sure,
things?
absolutely. Yeah.
And
So
then can you
yeah.
also explain, in the proposal, there's an option for a custom domain and not a custom domain. Can you also explain that part?
Yes, sure. So I'll just quickly go through the web report. So this is what we call it as a company level report or company scorecard. So each assessment can have, and each company can have these individual scorecards for themselves. So all the indicators, metrics can be displayed, their scores can be displayed. So there are multiple ways to kind of display this area. So each company can have its own scorecard. So other way is this one. So this is another scorecard. So here also there are this uh, different types of charts and everything can be demonstrated. And for each indicator, you can have the score, and then there can be show details where what option was selected can be kind of highlighted, and the options that are not selected are normal text. So this kind of a scorecard with all the comments, all the feedback comments that are provided, all those things, whatever you want, it's completely possible. So the design has to be provided from your side, but all the data is completely kind of, we can kind of put in the data to that HTML designs that you provide us. So similarly, we have this another like CFMB. So if you see, there are these drop down filters like count, percentage, etc. So we can have this kind of, so this is a microsite, if I may say, for the sector scorecard for CFMB, and you can have like all the menus and everything, and each page has their own set of data that they want to display. uh, Another option, like another type of scorecard that either investors or you can maybe use for your internal dashboards as well. Like you can at a sector level, what is the average score? When I click on one of the sectors, it would take me to this particular another page where there are other filters, and based on those filters you can kind of select which company has got what score, or what, however way you want to display that. And then based on, if I click on one of the companies, then it would take me to the company level page, and there their individual indicators, metrics would be displayed in whatever way possible. And you can also then compare multiple companies with each other. So if I want to compare like these three companies, then it would compare like, on a spider chart. So this kind of interactive dashboard can also be created from within the tool itself. So that capability we already have. Now coming to the last point where the customization of the URL is asked for. So there can be like, if you see, yeah, so here that's globalchildforum.benchmarkingframework.com. So from our side, we give it as a reportingframework.com and benchmarkingframework.com is the domains that we own. Okay, and you can have whatever you want to be. So na100.benchmarkingframework.com or something like that, or maybe you can also have like na100.ceres.org. So the whole domain can be yours. Okay, but your domain can point to our servers and our website, so we can set it up that way as well. So the people or the companies using the system won't know that you are using Probench. It would be completely how you want to configure. And whatever look and feel that I have displayed is also completely custom. If you see this global child forum page that I showed, it's like completely different UI that you might be seeing for the same assessment. So this is also Probench. Okay, but in case of global child forum, they provided their own UI to us and we kind of customize it. But this would take like a bit of more cost because we kind of completely customize it. But to from this particular UI standpoint, we can definitely change the logo, we can change the colors, fonts, all those things can be definitely changed with not much of an additional cost. So that's part of the license is what I would say. Okay, so yeah. In case of textile exchange, if you see, we have completely used reporting.textileexchange.org. So it's their domain. Okay, but the tool that's working is Probench.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, I had to rush, but yeah.
No, that's helpful.
Yeah.
So we're at time. Are there any more questions from folks short questions? Otherwise, we can continue to ask Gautam and Vikram questions over email.
I think there's one chat. Okay.
Oh, yes, Jerome had to leave, so he dropped off. I'm impressed that he was able to do this right before giving a presentation.
High confidence.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much, Gautam and Vikram. We really appreciate you doing this demo for us. As you can see, lots of interest, lots of questions about all the details. And yeah, if we have any additional questions, we'll reach out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time, and hope this was useful. Drop us any questions that you may have. Okay, so happy to answer.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you both. Really
Bye-bye.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.